Hey guys, Lee from Overbite Gaming here, and today we are going to talk about Warhammer Online, Age of Reckoning. Oh yes, Warhammer was a big part of my childhood, not so much like the fantasy one, but definitely Warhammer 40k. I used to collect them. I periodically go back and sort of have a little bit of a binge and a paint and stuff. So when they announced they were doing a Warhammer Online game, I was super excited. Just couldn't look forward to it. I mean, I was a beta tester on World of Warcraft. I'd like that, and to like have the opportunity to play something like that but set in the Warhammer universe, I was just like, where do I sign up? Pre-ordered it. I got it from Direct to Drive. I don't even know if they're still going anymore. But yeah, I pre-ordered it from them, downloaded it digitally, which was the first time I'd ever done that. This is before Steam days, or before it became massively sort of a thing. And you know what? It was pretty damn good. The characters were all very varied. You had some cool ones, like you had a Chaos Warrior dude, and he could change his arm into different things, and that gave him different abilities, which is very nice. The character classes were kind of mirrored across. You had the Order forces and the Chaos, the Destruction forces. So the Destruction was like the Greenskins, the Dark Elves, Chaos, that lot. And then you had like the Humans, the Dwarves, and the High Elves as the good guys, essentially. And they had mirrored classes. So like, even if you wanted to play Destruction, you could play something similar, which was cool. But it was a very PvP focused game. Which I'm not a huge fan of PvP games. I'd much rather just play against the environment, but it had that as well. I mean, of course you could get into a position where outside of the few starter zones you were like, it was open season basically, because it's like realm versus realm warfare, and you could have some big battles. Problem is, it wasn't greatly optimized. The battles really chugged sometimes, especially if there was a lot of people going on. Even if you had a relatively good PC at the time, it still chugged. But it was good fun. There was a lot of different variations in it, and it introduced some really nice things that were immediately copied by WoW, basically. So you had public quests, so you just go in a zone and there's like an objective to do, and you just go in there, and you don't have to group, you can just go in, sort it out, and then come away with a reward, which is nice. I really like that, because I'm not a social gamer, but like, to get some of the nice rewards, you need like more people, and to do that, you know, not many people was playing War at the time. I think I had one mate that played it as well. But you could just drop in, work with other people, get your reward, come back out, and just piss off and do your own thing again. Magic. And of course you could queue for the battlegrounds. You didn't have to go see an NPC or anything like that, just from anywhere, and you would travel to the battleground and then back to where you were. Wonderful. Now, it's got such a huge amount of lore, you think, well, they could do so much with that. Yeah, they kind of didn't, though. They got, I think, one expansion and 2 passes, and you basically got, well, prior to its release, it was forced out the door, I believe, by EA early. So 2 months before release, they actually cut 4 character types and 4 cities as well. So you ended up with 2 major capital cities, and 4 less character types, which is poor because they'd already announced them, and you could go on the website. In fact, you could play them in the beta, which is just ridiculous. So the DLC was basically what they cut, which isn't great. And that was all they did. It was like running for like 4 or 5 years, and they didn't do anything more with it. Now, the game is dead. The studio, Mythic, is dead. They were a veteran of MMOs. They did the Dark Age of Camelot. And what EA did is they merged them with BioWare. So you had Mythic BioWare, I think it was called. And because they did that, they were preparing the Old Republic. So they wanted to bring in Mythic, who had experience of doing MMOs, and put them with BioWare just to give them a help out with the experience. But of course, EA being EA, because we all love them, right? They ended up vastly skewing it towards the Old Republic, and Mythic was just there to support that, basically. They didn't really give a fudge about war. As it was known, it was Warhammer Age of Reckoning, so it was war, like WoW, but war, because war's cooler than WoW, because WoW was just an exclamation, and not an actual, war. Anyway, so numbers were falling off because, you know, it opened strong. It opened like with almost 1 million. I think it was like 800,000, something like that, subscribers initially, but it dropped off pretty steeply. And eventually they closed the servers, and that was it. But, shining light, there has been a resurgence. You can now play this thing for free. It's called Return of Reckoning. It's basically the game. That's all I'm going to say about that. Having played it, I've captured the footage from that for this video. It's essentially exactly the same. So you've got the imbalances and everything like that. But if you want to play this game, you can go ahead. You can play it for absolutely nothing. Create your account. Go play your characters. Have a good time as a dwarf. Just run around, try the public quests, and just check out a game that added quite a bit to the MMO genre, but never really got the props it deserved. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game. I mean, certainly it's not my favourite MMO. That would actually be the Old Republic. Yeah, I know. I know. I just can't help it. It's great. But yeah, I would urge you all to check it out. I'm going to put a link in the description down below, if I remember, which I promise I will. Just go through that, check it out, give it an install, see if you like it. Just give it a try. This was sort of like the alternative to WoW back in the day, outside of like the other quest series and stuff like that. It was very WoW-like, but it had its own thing and its own themes, and it's got one of the best glossaries in any game ever. It's like you bumped into something, you could look it up. How many I killed? Those. Okay, I've actually got sort of killed 25 of those, and it ticks a box for me in my little glossary job. So you've got like a list of things to do once you run into them, and it has a lot of sort of the story of war and stuff like that. It's so well done, and you don't see that enough. You don't see sort of an in-game thing where you can just look shit up so much nowadays. I mean, you have it, but it's always buried deep, and it's not well done. This is superbly done. It's like this big old tome that comes up, and you can just go through it. It's amazing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. As I say, check this game out. It costs you nothing. You know, just throw away a few hours just bashing orcs or whatever. Because, you know, Warhammer have the best orcs. Come on. They do. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know down below. Did you used to play War? Well, we all played War because we were all kids at one point, but, you know, Warhammer Online. Let me know down below what your fondest memories of it were. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell so you get notifications of whenever we post a new video. And with that, take it easy, guys.